Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.
Well, this spring has been interesting in terms of weather, but it's still May, and this is the time of year that we're really busy in our yards and our landscapes. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is fertilizing and irrigating your cool season lawns. So when I talk about cool season grasses, I'm talking about tall fescue, which is what we're sitting in right here, or also Kentucky bluegrass. Both of these grasses prefer to be grown well, they prefer cooler weather, so they do really well in the spring and the fall, but then in the summertime when it gets really hot and dry, they start to stress a little bit. So this is a time of year that we want to talk about doing a couple different things to our cool season grasses, one of which is fertilizing. If you plan to irrigate or water your grass all summer long, this is a critical time to fertilize. And so when we're talking about cool season lawns, there's really 3 times of year that you should be fertilizing. By far the most important time of year is September and then November. But if you decide you want to fertilize in the spring, you should wait until May. And so we are into May now, and you can go ahead and put down some fertilizer for your lawn. Lots of different fertilizers out there on the market to choose from, but generally your lawn fertilizers will have a higher first number, which is nitrogen. Phosphorus and potassium, that's what those 3 numbers are in case you weren't aware of that. So you want to look for something that has a high amount of nitrogen. This is a nice fertilizer because it also has some sulfur and some iron. And so sulfur is good for our part of the state because we have very alkaline soil, high pH. And so sulfur will help to bring that down just a little bit. In addition, when we have such alkaline soil or high pH, we tend to have some iron deficiency problems. Things turn a little bit yellow. If you're noticing that within the last several years in your lawn, you might consider using something with sulfur and iron to help green it up just a little bit more. When we're talking about a cool season lawn, 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet is the recommendation. And so how do you calculate that? Well, if you have a spreader, drop spreader, one of those, a lot of times they are calibrated to put down about that much. Read your packages of fertilizer, it'll tell you. Also nowadays with the internet, there's a lot of great turf fertilizer calculators out there on the internet, which is awesome because you don't have to do any math. You just have to punch in the 1942 and it'll tell you how much fertilizer you need for the area of your yard. So there's different ways to figure out exactly how much fertilizer to put down. One thing to think about though when you put down fertilizer is you want to make sure that either it's going to rain soon or you water it in because you don't want to burn your turf grass. When watering, this is a critical time of year to get that root system to go nice and deep. So when we talk about watering turf grass, we want to go about 6 to 8 inches deep. And so I just like to use a probe of some sort, a tool, piece of rebar, long screwdriver, whatever you have, just stick that down into the soil. And if you can push it down, and this goes down quite a bit, so obviously there's good moisture there. You don't want to water this turf grass. We've had plenty of rain in the last several weeks. That this turf grass is in good shape and will not need any moisture anytime soon. Like I said, if you put down some fertilizer, you want to go ahead and water it in just a little bit to get it down into the soil. When you're out checking your soil, if you can easily push that probe down, you know that that soil is moist. If you hit dry soil, a lot of times you'll hit resistance. Now we're in a park, and so this soil is very compacted. A lots of traffic, kids running around, things like that. And so it's a little stiffer than you might find in your front yard that doesn't get as much park traffic. But you want to make sure and test the soil before you water. By no means should you be out there watering every single day or every other day. Usually during the heat of summer, if your turf grass is in good shape, you can get by with once or twice a week, depending on our weather, of course. So if you have questions about watering cool season lawns or fertilizing cool season lawns, don't hesitate to contact your local extension office for more information. Reporting for K-State Research and Extension and Eagle TV, I'm Holly Dickman, Ellis County Horticulture Extension Agent.
Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.